Hello. Very hot microphone. Hello, hello. Good morning. Hello. Welcome once again to Dork Duck Daily, show with all the news you nerd. All the other trimmings. Lena will be here momentarily. She's still working on her food prep stuff for the week. We've gotten better about doing that. About making all of our food for the week. In the first day or two of the week, and then we can be the goblins that we want to be, just like moving about our day and just grabbing food and not be not doing the thing that we always do, which is like, I don't feel like I need the insta dopamine of food right now, but I don't have the time or energy to cook. And then we just have something we can grab out of the fridge. Good morning, GU. GU says hospitals are evil, don't get sick. Hospitals are evil. And I'm sorry you're not feeling well. This sucks. Yeah. Yesterday we became Costco people for the first time. I think we're Costco people now. I have a Costco card. Lena has a Costco card. Maybe she'll show hers off. Mine, we have to take pictures for it. On mine, I look like an old man grandpa, and then she looks like a lost child. But we both have Costco cards. It's one of those when you're throwing a graduation party for a graduating senior. It suddenly makes sense. Like the math starts to math, where you're just like, oh, we'll pay this membership and. So that we can buy, these 35 packs of soda and stuff, and see what this Costco thing is all about. And guys, I really like Costco. that's where I'm at in my life. I'm an old man, but like, okay, so the $1.50 hot dog and soda combo is real, and that's amazing. Shiki says Costco is good. Did Soggy make you want to go there since he lives off Costco? No, but like, no, it was just fully. I was trying to solve this problem of the grad party, and in solving this problem of the grad party, led to everyone just going like, okay, Costco, and like Costco became the answer, and then I was like, okay, we'll take our Sunday, which there's a town that was not our town that we had to drive to, and I wanted to drive to anyways because they were doing a screening of Labyrinth, which I'd never seen in theaters before, and that was amazing, and had that full-on experience. It's happened a couple times. The first time I saw like Raiders in theaters last year, it happened, but that thing where I'm like, I start crying just because I'm watching a movie I really like in the theater, which is like a weird old man reaction to things, but it happened. But so I was like, we have to go anyways. I really want to see Labyrinth. I guess we didn't have to go, but I really wanted to. And so we went to do Labyrinth, and then after Labyrinth, it was like 10 minutes away from a Costco, so I was like, we'll get the membership, we'll go see what this $1.50 hot dog and drink thing is all about, and then we can just, it's a reconnaissance trip, right? We got to get a bunch of soda for the party, we'll wait to come back to get a bunch of like meats and cheeses for the party, but like this is more or less a reconnaissance trip. And the reconnaissance trip, the first immediate, oh my gosh, we're definitely buying this, is Selena bought a big ass tomato plant. It's just because you walked in, they were just like, would you just like a big tomato plant that's just about ready to start giving you tomatoes? Like, yes, I would like one of those, thank you. That place is insane, and then it's like, it's so overwhelming if you've never done it before, and we're like trying to figure it out, and we should have planned sensory headphones for all the kids, because one of them was just like not doing well, and we only had one pair of headphones. throughout. But like that $1.50 hot dog thing is amazing, and it's like the hot dog's so huge. It's huge. It's a dollar. Like we got so much stuff at that food court. I think the total, and we went beyond the $1.50 thing. There's like 4 of us, and we're like getting cookies and getting. It was $12, I think, was the total food court price. And then, yeah, it's just like everything there. It was like, it. I need to plan around that place more, but I think, especially as we're starting to do more and more meal prepping and stuff, I think we might be Costco people. It's pretty great. Shiki says, "Hi friends." Hello, Shiki. Good morning. G says I literally just got a notification that my referral for the eye doctor is about to run out. They haven't called me, even though it's known I have confusion issues. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry. Do you know who has eye doctors? Costco. I don't. It's weird. They have literally everything there. I tried to call the number given, and it wasn't the right doctor, and I'm too confused for this. G says Costco is great. You can buy enough meds to survive the zombie apocalypse. Yes. For like $15. Yeah, the med situation there is insane. The everything situation is there. I wish I could get my family into rice and beans, because you could just buy so many rice and beans. And I think now that I'm getting a little like, maybe the apocalypse is a thing that we're maybe heading towards, I might buy a lot of rice and beans. I might just do that. Shiki said, "Oh, we went to the antique mall this weekend, and I got a few movies. Slither, Doctor Sleep, Interview with the Vampire, Inkheart, Doubt, the BBC Pride and Prejudice, Good Will Hunting." I love like all of those movies, all of them. That's great. Josh says I don't have the storage space to be a prepper. Yeah, I'm thinking about making it. Well, that's the other. I'm sure she'll talk about it when she gets here. But they had full ass just greenhouses you could buy there, which Selena was just like, what if we just bought this greenhouse? I was like, what if we saved up, and like that's our goal by next year is to buy that greenhouse? Because she was very much just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, they just have a greenhouse you can like just bring home and assemble, and then you have a greenhouse. But Josh, they also have sheds and things you can just buy and bring home and store. Now, those cost money, and I don't have the like it. There's a world in which I could maybe move some things around and buy that greenhouse for her and old, much more irresponsible. And like the thing is, like, I am just as infatuated with Selena as I was several years ago. But the several years ago, Jeff would just be like, "Oh my god, this woman," and it would have bought that greenhouse. The current Jeff is just like, "Oh my gosh, I need to take care of this woman and thus not buy this greenhouse." It's very weird, like double-edged, like two sides of the same coin thing. But yeah, because I could maybe move some things around and destroy our ability to pay bills and buy that greenhouse, but then I would not have any money to put anything in the greenhouse, and it would be the same with the shed. But they got sheds. They're nice. Yeah. What? Oh, okay. Appa- Lovely. Okay. Yeah, there is a knife with mayonnaise on it that was shoved into. Well, I had the kids help with our food prep for the week yesterday, and there's a knife with mayonnaise on it that somehow got shoved into a big thing full of Selena's stuffed unicorns, which is okay. That's the thing that happened. You said my goal with the zombie apocalypse is I'm already dead, so I can just stay in my Victorian house and board every. Today's the 19th. I'm already dead, so I can just stay in my Victorian house and board everyone out, and they'll leave me alone. Yeah, she's already dead. Yeah. No, that's a solid plan. That's gonna be my whole existence. Is how do I um I wish so one of my big dreams is like there's like a whole generator situation you can get for your house that just runs off your gas line, right? And it just like is all of a sudden just like as soon as power goes out, just like and keeps going. Um, and I am wondering, like, in a zombie apocalypse situation, like in a world where I'm able to spring and get that, I'm wondering in a zombie apocalypse situation, like one, can that thing be converted over to something if like the gas lines go out, and two, um, can you make a generator that just runs silently? Like how do I shield the noise of the generator so that in a zombie apocalypse people aren't like, oh, that house has a generator. That's what I want to know. Because I just want to like, you guys can have your Mad Max land out there. It's fine. I would just like to sit inside and watch my DVDs, and like you guys can all murder each other. I'll sit around and play video games. Um, she says might be better to get solar panels, just slowly cover the roof in them. That's not a bad plan. Josh says cheap ones tend to be loud in my experience. Okay. Yeah, I just want that's my thing. Like I I just when the world ends, I just want to sit around and watch my media. I want to watch movies. I want to watch Labyrinth another 800 times. Also, Labyrinth in theaters, holy shit. That's a movie that I think it's sometimes overblown. You know, the whole like I've been going back to a lot of old movies but watching them on theater screens, and there's definitely some old movies that it's like it's fine. If you sit in your room and watch this, or you sit in your living room watch this, you're getting the experience, right? Labyrinth is maybe the biggest swing I've had for like this is actually a completely different experience, like sitting down and watching it in theaters as opposed to like watching it. And I think part of it is just how vignette-y Labyrinth is. It's a lot of like it has a very Alice in Wonderland type structure, right? As she's like going around from weird thing to weird thing to weird thing to weird thing. And I think when you watch it at home, even before cell phones, there was such a nature of like there's not as like strong as a through line of plot in that movie. There is, I mean, she's like constantly trying to get Toby back, and but because it's very like weird segment to weird segment to weird segment, it has such a different feeling where you're like locked in the theater, and there's like booming sound and everything that's just like, no, pay attention to this. And then watching those vignettes weave together, they do it really it's transformative. Is a thing that was designed to be watched in that environment and not on home video, or now home streaming, where like you have a billion things happening and you're just like, oh, how do these scenes even fit together? Okay, this one, it was pretty amazing. Um uh He says, I'm lighting candles and homesteading. Fuck all of you, respectively. Actually, I let Cheeky in. Cheeky says we can become crazy snake ladies. Josh said, my zombie death will be Dexter's Lab reruns playing in the background. Yeah. He says, plus Sam, because I feel bad leaving him to die if I save Cheeky. I have a feeling if knowing Sam, that if Sam found a spot where Shiki would be safe, he would be like, all right, close, locked door. If anything, he'd sit on the outside with a gun That would be his whole thing. Just as maybe cow and chicken. We own a lot of that on DVD, but my children utilize them. So like, I think a lot of our things like our complete collection of Courage the Cowardly Dog and the like. I'm guessing those DVDs aren't doing real well because they're our children. Sam says nope. The apocalypse happens. I'm greeting death like an old friend. Okay. I imagine you'd make sure Shiki is safe first, but he says we need his 2 5-year-old girls plus side. I do have 2 canes. Yeah, good morning, Sam. You can't use your Prime sub? That's weird. Is that just a thing that's done now, or I don't know. Yes, good morning. Sam said, I say very often, if I was in most video game situation, I'd just give up and die. Yeah, me too, till it comes to like Lena, my kids, and my kid's mom. Like that's about the only scenario of which I've like, if I could like push them further into safety, I would. Outside of that, yeah, if it was just me, I would just be like, yep, nope, I'm done. He says, I know it's a small thing, but I went to the kitchen to get water from my fridge, and the joy it brings me to have drinkable water. I'm hydrated again. Congrats. Just the same, Sam. I'm having enough time finding motivation in the current apocalypse. I mean, that's true. What's up, Mike? Mike says my toxic trait is that I think I could do well in a zombie apocalypse. I do not think I could do well. I have people I know that could do well that I would probably bring my family to and be like, okay, you are here now. Josh said add zombies and I'm done. He says also I know bring snakes up like a lot, but both my snakes shed. I'm so excited. That's awesome. You did okay, mom. Things. Tim says I don't vibe with surviving for the sake of surviving. I have no hope, no joy, just constant fear and anxiety. Fuck it, that's not living. That's what I'm saying. I need to have I need to have my ability to sit around and watch my movies and play my video games, and if I have that, I should be good. Knowing me, I'm gonna be the moron that is like out the way that like in a zombie land, Woody Harrelson is just questing for a Twinkie. And be like, what's that guy doing? It's like he's looking for sliders on DVD. It's gonna be something like that. I'm like scouring the land, become like this ultra survivor for the dumbest thing. Just going through all these like DVD stores. Yeah, I think I would keep trying to assemble like just like the best like movie collection. Like the movie version of the Library of Alexandria or whatever. I would just keep questing to like have all the things. Oh hey, we hit a sub goal. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't pop the anything else. That's weird. What? Sandwiches are good? Yeah. I'm glad your sandwiches are good. Shiki, I can get a working typewriter. You can write books still. Yeah. Writing would be a tougher one during the... I guess maybe you could write a book for like, hey, if you guys find this. Had to go use my browser. The app had no confirm use Prime sub. That's weird. She says capable of starting a fire without a lighter. She also said, see, I like embroidery and sewing and art, so I'm good. I have a library. I'm already building it, so yeah. Mike says, and you can save your progress with a typewriter. She said, I have eternal fear and anxiety with my conditions and trauma, so nothing will have changed except it's more socially acceptable for me to not socialize. He says, yeah, I have a typewriter. I've been thinking about typing up a manuscript, but I need to look into replacement ink ribbons. I have several typewriters. It's a problem. That's a problem. I'm a goblin. I like hoarding things, and I like going to estate sales, and whenever I see a typewriter at a estate sale, I buy it. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I don't use them. They sit around this house. They do look pretty, though, like sitting on end tables and stuff, but I should probably do something with them at some point. We don't just talk about typewriters and good sandwiches and zombie apocalypse prepping on this show. We also cover all the news you nerd. We have a whole segment for it. We like to call it the Daily Quack. He said, I wanted to collect typewriters, but I couldn't since myself. Cameras would be better. Oh, we collect those too. Don't worry. I love how, like, our financial problems are not a mystery. So, like, when someone's like, oh man, like, what's going on? It's like, we have no breaks together. By the way, the Twilight Saga celebrates its 20th anniversary with a new premium book box set. It's insane to me that those books are 20 years old, but here we are. My back hurts. This is from John Binter over at GameSpot. Who says the first Twilight novel debuted in 2005, introducing the world to the romantic tale of Bella Swan and the vampire Edward Cullen. Jesus, cool. I wanted to feel ancient today. Well, it's now best known for its hit film series adaptation. I guess? Are the movies more of a thing than the books? I guess. Fans looking to celebrate the Twilight book series' 20th anniversary with two new big releases. First is Twilight Saga Deluxe Hardcover Collector's Edition, which includes the 4 main Twilight novels and the 5th book, Midnight Sun, which was released years after the original saga and tells a new story. There's not quotes in this article, but I'm adding quotes. Tells a new story from Edward's perspective. The other is a new book release of the original Twilight novel, featuring an all-new floral artwork. Should be able to pull up pictures. Let's see it. Let's see these new fancy things. Okay. I don't know that I like Midnight Sun in there. I do like that Twilight book, though. That's fucking cool. The Twilight doesn't feel very flowery to me, though. That's really pretty. I don't know that it fits the nature of the book, though. They'd aged horribly by 2006. She says aging must be nice. How does it feel to age? I don't do that. Definitely not a vampire. The books are pretty now. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I don't know why it's pretty, though. That doesn't... And we all know the prettiest version of Twilight is, of course, the original UK covers. Right? Those are, that's the prettiest version of Twilight. That right there. the new moon one might be I love them so much. I need to find them. G says, is that AI art? It feels like AI art. No, no. This is so you have to remember that like at the time no one had any idea what Twilight was going to become. And so in America, we got this cover, which is like both chaste and horny, which is like very Twilight. It's kind of perfect, honestly. But in the UK, because they often would do different color covers in the UK, they're just, I don't know, YA thing, and that's the art that was on the UK cover back in 2005. It's so good. Insert Beller Swan jokes. I was not there to. I don't know the Beller Swan jokes. Vicky said, "I'm devastated we didn't get these here because it's horrible and I need it. I need them too. They're so good." But yeah, you can get these boys. I don't like the box set because I don't like Midnight Sun being in there. I don't feel like that book deserves to sit alongside the others. And that's a really pretty cover. I just don't. That does not seem simultaneously chaste and horny. That just seems like pretty for no reason. Like where's the Mormon chaste horniness in that cover? It's not there. It's just a bunch of flowers. Sam said we hickified Twilight. These are the overalls of a killer beller. There's a clip. All right.
God damn it. As if you could outrun me. Oh no. These are the overalls of a killer Bella. Oh, why am I?
That's great. That's great. That's amazing. But yeah. Do Twilight, and because we can't just have news stories and everything has to have affiliate links to make money off of, there's also like, hey, here's how you buy the movies. Click our links and buy movies off of these links. Please click the links and buy movies. Journalism is dead. That's what it says. All that at the bottom of the article. All right. Steam's monthly top seller list is automated now, and goes all the way back to 2004 when it's just Half-Life 2. This is from Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer, who says, every month Steam publishes a list of top releases by revenue, which often includes some surprises. This month, Oblivion Remastered, Last of Us 2, Expedition 33, and Blueprints are all selling really well. Though Steam's gold tier top 12 also includes 100 Line, Last Defense Academy, a game so ambitious that it pushed its creators to the brink of bankruptcy. Steam's been doing these charts since 2019, though until now they were assembled by hand, which Steam's latest news blog says has been leading to a less than consistent publishing cadence as we waited to complete all the necessary work each time. From now on, the charts will be automated and published on the 15th of each month, with calculations based on the first 2 weeks of revenue for each of the games released during the month. Since being released on Steam can mean either entering early access or leaving it to hit 1.0, early access games will be considered for the list twice. Each list will contain 50 entries, including DLC if it sells well enough. But these newly automated lists can be browsed backward, meaning you can jump all the way back to November of 2004 when the top release on Steam was Half-Life 2, because it was the only release on Steam. The list can then stays blank until October 2005, When Ragdoll Kung Fu arrives. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about Ragdoll Kung Fu. We were talking about Super Smash Brother clones. I could not, for the life of me, come up with the name of that game. When Ragdoll Kung Fu arrives, though Darwinia, which was famously the other early non-Valve game released on Steam, doesn't show up for some reason. Jumping forward to August 2010, when this person who's writing the article downloaded Steam at the insistence of my physical copy of Mafia 2. There's still only enough games being released for a top 10. At the top of the list is Kane and Lynch 2, Dog Days. I can feel myself tumbling down memory hole, and I might be for some time. That is amazing now that exists as a resource. Yeah, and then we can go back and historically see. I'm trying to think and like feel out when it was that like Steam hit like its ubiquitous. I'm trying to find that word there. Ubiquitous. When basically Steam was the end all be all for everything, the platform everyone used. Because it's like it's somewhere in the 2010s that by then it's just like, oh yeah, Steam, and you didn't have to explain what Steam was. But there was that period of time where someone would be like, oh, I just get it on Steam, and then they would have to explain it to you. He said, I also did the hold tight spider monkey, and all three of those are commands now. That's amazing. Mike says, Kane and Lynch was great. Yeah, Kane and Lynch 2 was a game. Very famously, it's a game that like nearly ended GameSpot and started Giant Bomb over the reviews of how bad that game was too. G said also Shiki. This is so late, but I'm still so mad they only ever made the first book into movies and media. The twist of the second book is so great. Of Interview with the Vampire. Oh, okay. I didn't know the context there. The new AMC show's all right. They change actresses by the time they're covering the stuff past the first book, and that bummed me out. But it's still, the show's still good. But yeah, no, Runes the Twist. Yeah, no adaptation is gonna like completely land. But those books were very important to young Jeffrey. I read them a lot. And then she went off the reservation. I think she found Jesus was like a big part of it. And then she was like, I'm done writing vampire stories. I'm only going to write about Jesus. And then that lasted for like 2 books. And then she just like fought with people who reviewed her books on Amazon constantly. She was an interesting person. Then I think her kid's writing further vampire books now. I can't remember. But yeah, I was very into Anne Rice books. Long time. Mike says Jesus ruined so many things. It was really, I want to say it might have only been 1 book. She did. She did one of those like, I'm no longer writing homoerotic vampire books. I am now just writing about Jesus. And then she I forgot she has straight up erotic novels too. Following her publication with Interview with Vampire while living in California, Rice wrote 2 historical novels, Feast of All Saints and Cry to Heaven, along with 3 erotic novels, The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty, Beauty's Punishment, and Beauty's Release. I love how the world has changed so much that it was like, back then it was like, Anne Rice wrote these 3 erotic novels too, and now those would be the things that are like the best sellers you could go buy in Walmart. We just don't care now, and we're just horny on Maine. Oh yeah. Rice began another series called Christ the Lord Out of Egypt, published in 2005, chronicling the life of Jesus. She wrote a second volume, Christ the Lord: The Road to Cana, and was working on a third, Christ the Lord: Kingdom in Heaven, in 2008. She also wrote the first two books in her Songs of Seraphim series, Angel of Time and Love of Evil. But yeah, by 2014, she was back to writing more Vampire Chronicles. But yeah, she had that moment of just like, I'm just doing Jesus stuff. She said a 3-book series on edging beauty. Yes, it does seem that'd be the case. She said, didn't the actress Sabrina the Teenage Witch do this too? It's hard to say. Melissa Joan Hart has made like the Christian films, but it's hard to tell. I'm sure a lot of these people are nominally Christian, but like there's not a lot of people knocking on Melissa Joan Hart's door right now, and it's hard to sort out like the Melissa Joan Harts and the Kevin Sorbos, how much they actually like think and feel and are passionate about this stuff versus like that's who's showing up to give them a paycheck. I said I bet she made Jesus pretty erotic too. I'm sure she did. I don't think she can help herself. But yeah, it does seem to be about 3 books about claiming a sleeping beauty. In the first chapter of the story, Beauty is awakened from her 100-year sleep by the prince, not with a kiss, but through copulation. That's assault, brother. Okay, I've not read any more. I says Jesus was nailed on the cross. The version was pretty graphic. She said, I remember the discourse with the interview with the vampire. People were like, OMG, it's woke. It made them gay. And everyone else was like, did you read the books? Yeah. They're pretty horny. As these are these beauty books though. Let's see reception. The trilogy was a commercial success and gained a significant cult following. Rice was able to secure the publishing contract for her next erotic novel, Exit to Eden, with an advance of $35,000. Arbor House, there were allegations that Rice was a dominatrix in real life since the trilogy deals with BDSM, practiced so exclusively. But her husband, Stan Rice, replied that she's no more sadomasochistic than she's a vampire. When the Columbus Metropolitan Library declared the trilogy hardcore pornography and removed all print and audio cassette copies from the library shelves in 1996, Rice objected, arguing that the trilogy was elegantly sensual and harmless to readers. The trilogy is included in the American Library Association's list of 100 most frequently challenged books of the 90s, with the term challenge defined in American literature as an attempt to remove or restrict materials based on the objections of a person or group. Professor Linda Bedley of Middle Tennessee State University wrote in her 1996 book Writing Horror in the Body on the trilogy that rewriting the myth of Sleeping Beauty as a sadomasochistic fantasies enabled Anne Rice to explore liminal areas of experience that could not be articulated in conventional literature, extant pornography, or political correct discourse. Television adaptation. It was announced in September 2014 that Televisa USA had obtained the rights to adapt the trilogy into a television series. Rice was to serve as executive producer alongside Rachel Winter, producer of the film Dallas Buyers Club. Winter, As of 2016, the series is still in development. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. The horny Beauty and the Beast series, but maybe it will now. Who knows? Juice says, so what you're saying is Anne Rice is a vampire. Juice says, update, Melissa Joan Hart almost went full crazy, but her kid was almost in a school shooting, so now she's a moderate. You can enjoy her media. She calls out a lot of folks now. Okay, good. Josh says, I'm gonna go check it out at the Library of Congress, because apparently they keep all the good stuff there. Yeah, if you want more horny Anne Rice, I guess that's the way to go. Claire Obscure Expedition 33's director has an old YouTube channel full of masterful no-hit Devil May Cry videos, because of course he does. This is from Tyler Culp over at PC Gamer. Suddenly it all makes sense. The director of the turn-based RPG with combat that plays like an action game, Claire Obscure, is also a hardcore Devil May Cry player. Games Radar was snooping through the Guillaume Broche's Reddit account, where he once made a post looking for voice actors, and found a YouTube video of him defeating Virgil in Devil May Cry 5 and taking 0 damage. Had another go at Virgil after 6 months. What do you think about this run? The post title reads. Clicking through to Broach's YouTube channel reveals that he's actually just really good at DMC5. There's nothing on there but 5 videos of him flawlessly killing bosses using parries and dodges like it's nothing. In one video, he uses Dante's Royal Guard style to block and parry his way through the final boss fight, earning a perfect SSS score. In the description, he wrote that Royal Guard is life. In case it wasn't clear, this man loves parries. That he would go on to infuse turn-based combat with action game sensibilities sure isn't surprising when you see all this. Once you've been hit by the parry bug, whether it's through games like Sekiro or DMC, you can't go back. That's just science. I'm no game developer, but I think it would only be natural for you to take that passion and share it with the world by making an entire game that rewards you for anticipating enemy attacks. I like to think that Broche would still approve of players who beat Claire Obscure without parrying or dodging in a single time, though. The other half of the game is a robust RPG. It supports tons of different builds that can make you feel like you're breaking it, which is exactly what you have to do if you want to circumvent one of its main combat mechanics. Broach strikes me as the kind of person who would appreciate the level of knowledge and effort it takes to pull that off. Sam says, I can't be bothered to parry. I don't parry at all in Expedition 33. Because I'm so bad at it. There's just no world in which that's a thing that I can do reliably. And I do dodge. The dodge window is much more generous. And I'm really impressed when, like, I was watching Addo play it, and he's been parrying like crazy, and I'm very impressed watching all these people do that, and it is, I think, much easier for other people. I think Selena would easily be able to do the parry thing in a way that I could not. But Mike says, I'm doing like 6 other things when I'm playing a turn-based game. No chance I could parry things. In that game, because of how the combat works, you're dialed in to the turn-based in a way you're not in other games, because there's so much of that in a good way. It's like there's so much of the like when you're attacking, there's so much of like the mechanics, kind of like the Gunblade, where you're just like, okay, I need to make sure I'm hitting this at this time and doing this at this time, and then when they're attacking you, like, it is possible in that game to take on like something you're way underleveled for and do well, because you could not take a hit in like every single battle of that game just by dodging and parrying. Oh, Jeff, did you ever play Star Tropics? I did not. Josh says Star Tropics was the best. Except all the yo-yo injuries. Mike says I've played about 5 hours of 33 so far. I'm at the very end of that game, and I'm running around the world cleaning it up before I finish it. Sam said I was so bad at the Gunblade in FF8 and the combos and LOD. The more people tell me about Expedition 33 combat, the more I will die. I think you'd be surprised, because I'm with you on the combos. The combos are not my thing in the slightest. I'm so bad at those. And the Gunblade I got, but I've played more FF8 than any human being should. So that's what that has to do with this. Is not. My claim to fame, she says, was being in the top 100 of my state for Naraka Blade Point while being physically incapable of parry. Nice. Sam said, I'm very excited for both of you, or to play both of them soon. Jeff normally is a big retro person, so I figured he'd be excited. I'm just excited. Legend of Dragoon. Yeah, I knew what game you're talking about, but I couldn't think of the name, so I was just like LOD, because that's better than admitting that my brain can't summon those nouns right now. I appreciate you, though. Mike said there are 100 players in Naraka Broadpoint. G says I couldn't parry, but I could dodge and murder real good. That's what I do. And oh my gosh. And the thing, Sam, about Expedition 33, of which you love, is not the dodge and the parrying thing. Like, you'll have to do that, some measure of that, but that game is so good on, like, hey, you want to break me, right? Yeah, you want to break me. That's what you want to do. What if we give you a couple Pictos that you could equip and they like combo things together? You know, what if we give you a special move that knocks you into down to 1 HP, but fully fills up your action points meter and puts you into like the super crazy mode that doubles all your damage? And then what if you could also equip an ability that when your health was low, doubled all your damage? And what if we also gave you a thing that could break the game in a way that if you have this equipped and you just have to go over and fight this guy and get it from him, but then if you have that equipped, you can take 2 turns in a row. So now you've knocked yourself down to 1 HP and doubled your damage and then doubled your damage again. And but now you can take 2 turns in a row, so now you're going again right after doing all that. Like that's the best part of that game. It's not the dodging, it's not the oh my gosh, there's quick time events. It is the way that those systems all play with each other. And there's all these different ways you can build them out, but like it's so good for that part of your brain that's like, oh my god, if I do this and this and this and this, it's so good. Josh says the Picto system has big materia feels, but more in depth. Yeah, that's the best part of that game. It's so good. Mike says, I've only played a little bit to be fair, never gave a fair shake. For Honor is more my speed. Expedition 33 is, like, for my money, one of the best games I've ever played. It's really good. On the story level, on the gameplay level, on the everything. Josh says you can build in ways when you suck at dodging. Yeah. She said, it's less play to win than Apex, and Apex pulled some anti-consumer stuff, so a lot of Apex players came over. Nice. Apex is like... Okay, I played it a little when Apex launched. I like Respawn. I was always rooting for Respawn, especially the idea of like, hey, the Call of Duty people left Call of Duty at the height of Call of Duty and went off to do their own thing. Like, that's really cool to me. And like, so I've always kind of rooted for them. Titanfall was real good, but like, that we're never going to see another Titanfall, it seems like. And then Apex, I tried it when it came out, and I was like, oh, another one of these, and kind of moved on with my life. I'm not a big multiplayer person. Mike says the only reason I like Apex was because I was waiting for Titanfall 3. Yeah, Titanfall 1 and 2 are incredible. And even if you're not multiplayer games people, which like a lot of us aren't, do yourself a favor and play through the campaigns of those games. They're so neat. And those games are incredible, and I like I said, I like Respawn. They also hired Abby Happy, who like I was following from like 8,000 years ago when she did game journalism stuff, and so like it was cool. I don't think she's works there anymore though. I think she ended up at yeah, no, she left, and I think she was at Media Molecule for a while, and now it doesn't seem like she has a public image at all anymore. Which good for her if that's what she wants. Yeah, because there's just when you Google her now, there's just a Twitter link that goes to nothing. Interesting. I don't know. I wonder if she has a blue sky. But I'll say I liked Respawn a lot, and then I kind of just I played Apex and moved on. But for whatever reason, my kid's mom, that is like her entire life is Apex. Like she goes out to Apex tournaments and watches them. She like hangs out in Apex subreddits. She like that's she plays Apex every day. That is her life, is just all Apex. She was like when I came over to pick up the kids or something, I was talking to her a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, Marvel Rivals! You checked out Marvel Rivals?" She's angry about the existence of Marvel Rivals because all of her friends that used to play Apex were playing Marvel Rivals now, and she wanted nothing to do with it. She just wants to keep playing Apex. But that's just always been her. Like back when I was married to her, like it was Halo. It was all Halo. And then when everyone was moving on to Call of Duty, she was just like angry, and she was like, "I don't want to learn a new game. I just want to get on and play the same game with all my friends. Can we just keep playing Halo?" And that's just like who she is. But like that, she just fucking loves Apex. For whatever reason. G said, honestly, I like Naraka for being melee focused, and the customization of characters is so fun. Mike says the multiplayer in Titanfall was so fun. Yeah, getting out in and out of the mechs and all that stuff was such a blast. Supposedly, Apex is set in the Titanfall world. Sam said, I was just telling Kayleigh the fans are theorizing a smaller release window for Silksong, and it made me really sad because I'm running out of time for Silksong Isn't Real jokes. It's a good segue into. I'm going to hold that comment and come back to it because I think that's a good segue into our next news story. But it's not about Silksong. It's just about the Summer Games Fest. But I think if it doesn't show up at Summer Games Fest in some meaningful way, you got way more time. But I think this is kind of, in a lot of ways, going to be the make or break season for it. GU says, yeah, Apex felt like we're rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. It was so progressive in its character designs, etc., and it was so likable, but it fell into what others do. Yeah. Dress said you can probably start making a few Star Citizen maybe. I doubt that even fills its promises. That's scary.
Beard has raided us.
Thank you so much for the raid, Adam. Welcome in, Beardlings. My name is Jeff. I'm one half of what is Dork Duck. Selena is the other half. And I would say would be here shortly, but I was first told that an hour and 8 minutes ago, so I don't know what her plan is. She was meal prepping last I knew, and was going to be here any moment. But that has not materialized yet. Hi, we are Dork Duck. This is our Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday morning show. We also do some video game streams, although things these days are pretty spotty because we have a kid graduating this week. Well, I have a kid graduating this week, and who Selena is a very amazing bonus mom too. You've reminded of your favorite Die Hard trivia today. If for some reason you are here and you are not following Addo, please do. Or Sam will ban you. Speaking of Labyrinth, yeah, if you missed the top show, I got to see Labyrinth in theaters yesterday, and holy shit, that was great. That was great. And it so many times, like we went and saw Scream in theaters a couple weeks back, and like that was definitely one where it was like that was fun, but like I didn't get anything out of that I wouldn't have gotten from watching it at home or whatever. Labyrinth was an experience. Adam says I still haven't seen Labyrinth. You should work on that in theaters if you can, because it was such a different experience. Actually seeing it, like I said, I think it's somewhat the vignette style storytelling of it, but also the music is just so much better. You get the whole package if you see the theater. You sure do. Holy cow, that was Selena leans over to me and she's like, they had to have dressed him like that on purpose. They had to have known. Yeah, you get to see a lot of David Bowie's Dance Magic Dance in that film. It's very predominant. He is wearing pants in which it is very, very visible. His Willem Dafoe may have been standing for Bowie. It's pretty wild. And the best part is he has so many outfit changes in that film, and almost all of them it is showcased. Adam says theaters might be worse for me. I do get why you recommend it. Most theaters are not captioned or different. That's fair. Yeah. There are some, like, if you go in bigger cities, they will do like screenings and stuff that are like for actually like to take care of people and stuff in that way. But yeah, none around here, and so I imagine you'd be in a similar spot down there. Gosh, that's the real star of that movie is the cucumber. But yeah, I'd highly recommend Labyrinth. That movie fucking rules. And yeah, it was so good getting to go see it. Hey, beautiful.
Hello.
It's burning your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Selena made the mistake of not removing her makeup before watching The Last of Us last night, and this has been a situation ever since.
I was just crying about The Last of Us now too.
You were just now crying about The Last of Us?
I've seen a bunch of TikToks and it's nothing crazy. I can't find it.
I love you. Sam says hi. She says she'll be here in a second. All right. Here's the Summer Game Fest 2025 schedule. Always Sam's favorite. Including where to watch each showcase. Here, you can watch each showcase here on Dork Duck. We'll talk over them. Clear your schedule for a long June 6th weekend. I must run. I cannot be the spoilies. We're not gonna spoil anything, but wait to spoil these out. Yeah, we're not spoiling anything. Unless the spoiler is that show is sad. But we cry. Celine and I cry at everything all the time. So like that's not even giving any information away on anything. Watch with my parents who are watching huge batches. That's fair. All right. Here's the Summer Game Fest 2025 schedule. This is coming from Andrea Sheeran over at PC Gamer. It's almost time for Summer Game Fest 2025. So get to work on these backlogs before the upcoming games list grows even longer. This year's event schedule includes streams from major publishers like Xbox, indie-focused presentations from Wholesome Games, even a broadcast from yours truly with the next PC gaming show. As is tradition, the games industry will gather over a few days in June, make as many video game announcements as humanly possible before dispersing until the next big thing. But no, this is still not E3, but don't sweat it if you're confused. We hear it all the time. Summer Games Fest 2025 begins on Friday, June 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. BST. That's when Jeff Keighley kicks off at the YouTube Theater with a 2-hour broadcast revealing new games or offering updates on other released projects. That'll be where we start streaming and talking over those things. And Selena goes, "Ugh, do we have to?" And I go, "Yes, video games." And then Sam goes, "Ugh, do we have to?" And I go, "Yes, video games." And I sit here enthusiastic then for the next 8 hours or 6 hours. I think it's 6. It's 2 hours of that show and then 2 hours of the Game Dev Diaries, and then there's another. I don't know. It's a whole ordeal. Tim says, "I've never once got do we have to? I say have fun, and I bail or I lurk." And Shiki goes, "Stop talking over them." And Jeff goes, "No, video games." The hangout aspect of like, let's just like talk and chill and make fun of the insanely naked capitalism when it becomes insanely naked capitalism, but also have like the ooh ah reactions together when those are organic and cool too. It's fun to me. I don't have a question or plate. I just wanted to. Okay, I will root back to that. But yeah, Friday, June 6th, 2 p.m. And then we will be live mostly the Friday and the Sunday. I am going to try to make sure, even though it does not fit into our schedule at all, there is the couple years running now, early in the Friday, the accessibility summer showcase, which is Accessibility's third annual showcase, gives disabled game developers a spotlight to share their games and feature accessibility settings and design. Broadcast is among the first of the summer gaming session, with streams from last last about 45 minutes. That one is at 11 a.m., 4 p.m. And that does so 11 a.m. Eastern, which like we could maybe make work, but that's the thing that like that looks cool. I would like to try to crowbar that into our schedule this year if we can. Because the idea of a whole hour just talking about like, hey, this is how we're making games more accessible for other people, fucking rules. He says, "No, I get it. I'm obnoxious about that stuff. You're fine." But yeah, the Day of the Devs immediately follows, and then the Wholesome Direct, I think, is the next day, on Saturday. I would like to cover that because that's all cozy games. But given that it's 12 p.m. on the Saturday, we would have to like move store stuff around or like leave either Selena or I out of it, and that doesn't make sense. And then the Sunday is when Microsoft is doing their thing, complete with they're saying that there's going to be the way that they did the Call of Duty stuff last year, and we sat through it and was like, ugh, they're doing a whole Outer Worlds 2 direct, which rules, because I fucking loved the first Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, of course, not to be confused with Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds is the basically Fallout in space game. It's very good. It's made by Obsidian. But yeah, so that whole weekend, I will get a schedule going as soon as we can. She said, also, sorry to interrupt, but I do want to warn the world that 17-year cicadas are appearing. I think they warn us for you. They're not quiet when they do show up. Ado says, I'm excited for Outer Worlds 2, to be honest. Yeah, me too. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, the whole week of June 6th, Lena is going to be like, oh my god, what's happening? And I'll be like, we talked about it on the show. And she'll be like, I don't remember talking about that. And I'll be like, really? We talked about it on the show? Because I'll forget that she wasn't around for all this. But that'll be a packed weekend of talking over lots of press conferences. Lena is excited. I love you. All right. She says the United States is set to experience a spectacular natural phenomenon in 2025, the mass emergence of millions of red-eyed cicadas after 17 years of living underground. These fascinating insects, belonging to Generation 14, not been seen since 2008. The first sightings have already been reported in the southern United States, heralding an immense invasion that will gradually spread northwards. Yeah. Cicadas are fun. The wacky Pokemon exhibition that puts Poké-fossils alongside real fossils is coming to the United States. It's from Rich Stanton at PC Gamer. That's so silly. I don't know if I love it or hate it. I really don't know if I love it or hate it. Because there's going to be some percentage of people that are just like this is where we're at. It's no longer interesting enough that like there was these creatures that lived millions of years ago and we found their bones and reassembled their bones. It's like now we have to be like dangle the keys in front of them of like, oh well, here's a Pokemon skeleton too.
Ugh.
Hello.
Meal prepping is hard. That was so much work.
I'm sorry.
They were just sandwiches too. It wasn't even anything like crazy.
I would have helped you.
Yeah, but it's like they were like bougie sandwiches.
Oh yeah, I don't do bougie sandwiches for my meal prep. I do very like
I don't know that it was bougie so much as it was just like I made sure that it had everything that I needed for like protein and like good vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know where my headphones are. Oh, they're there. Also, hold on.
Yeah?
What is always wrapped around this thing?
I don't know.
Help.
I just work here.
Yeah, I know. And so, like, you should know about how these cords are.
I have to rerun all the cords.
When? You said that like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know. We spent all yesterday at Costco.
You know. I just can't, like, move my head very far if the cord's, like, it's wrapped up around the microphone thingy, too, and I don't want to accidentally yank the microphone stand down.
Yeah,
All right,
I just have to
leave
rerun
it.
the cord.
It's fine. I'll just sit, like, very still.
It says, hooray, I want to see how they do Credilli. Like, how do you do the plant creature? My entire movement of this is not dinosaurs are boring. It is, I want to see the horrible Gen 8 fossils.
That would be funny.
Yeah, the Pokemon Fossil Museum has announced a special exhibition at Chicago Fields Museum. They'll open its doors in May 2026. The exhibition puts fantasy fossils of Pokemon alongside real fossils, invites viewers to compare and contrast. In the case of the Chicago Field Museum, that means things like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is one of the world's best-known fossils, has a good case for being the most impressive T-Rex fossil ever found. It's the biggest by far, 40 feet long, 13 feet tall at the hip, and as well as being one of the most complete fossils of this type, where around 90% of its bones. Attendees will be able to compare Sue the T-Rex inspired Pokemon Tyrannotanium's fossil remains. Chicago also boasts Chicago Archaeopteryx. You know how to say these words. Need your help. What is this?
I don't know how to say that word.
It's not an arc.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Sorry, I can barely open my eyes right now because like the makeup remover didn't work, so there's like still makeup in my eyes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. They just burn. Suffering.
I'm sorry you're suffering.
It's okay.
Chicago also boasts the Chicago Archaeopteryx, which was crucial in revealing the evolutionary link between dinosaurs and birds. It'll be displayed next to Pokemon Archeops. So while trainers may well be pulled in by all the Poké fun,
I wish they would just stop putting the word Poke in front of everything.
Pokemon go to the polls. There's no arguing with the exhibition's paleontological bona fides. Sam says I'm Pokeback. Bye, G. You have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
The Pokemon Company notes that this marks the first time the exhibition will travel outside of Japan, though it also refers to the Chicago Special Exhibition as a tourist stop. So don't be surprised to see this turning up elsewhere in future years. Regardless, ever since 2022, the Pokemon Company and Toyoshi Museum of Natural History have operated an online virtual tour of the exhibit. Don't think too hard about taking the virtual tour of fake fossils and just have a play around on the website. It's great diversion and perfect for dino mad kids and grown-ups who also love Pokemon. Shiki said Archaeopteryx, if I remember correctly. Thank you. And Dylan says, I'm Poke here. Good morning, all. Good morning.
Hello.
Josh says, come for the Pokemon, but we're going to force you to learn. I just love that that's where we're at, though, in 2025. Is just like, we can't even be like, hey, here is Sue, the biggest...
Speak for yourself. I want to go see Sue.
I know you do, but
yeah.
I'm saying for like kids and parents of kids today,
okay,
that's not enough.
I don't want to be grouped into that.
Right, that's not enough of a draw. They have to be.
I want to go by myself.
They'd be like, "Oh, we got Pikachu skeleton here. Guys want to go to a museum now?"
I would be so.
We got IP at this museum.
Our kids would come with us, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, go look at this thing!" And I'd be like, "Shh, I'm looking at Sue. Don't talk over the tour guide. They're explaining things right now."
It's gonna be like,
oh my god.
Is this the world we're in now? We have to have IP to make museums fun and exciting? Be like, can't just go to an art museum to see Van Gogh. It's going to be like, we have Star Wars paintings here. Come on.
I don't know. They do like little events at our local art museum. Well, not local, but like the one that's closest to us. It's not like come see Star Wars stuff. It's like they do like interactive things, and like that draws people out. I don't think.
Edo says, I don't think it's not a draw. I think that it's more that money and time is too hard to warrant going to the museum, aquarium, zoos. Fun, especially with multiple kids. The Pokemon just makes it more worth of a splurge.
Yeah.
I guess. It's just, I don't know.
Well, do we go to museums and things like that?
No.
I guess that's not really...
But-
Pokemon's not going to make us go, though.
Yeah, but we
But
want.
you don't like Pokemon. So this isn't really for you.
It's not. I'm just being an old man yelling at a cloud right now, which is also nothing new.
Sam said splurge is kind of a gross word. I don't know why it just kind of stuck in my brain. I do think it's an interesting word to use in that context of like that you're spending money like
To go to museums and stuff.
no, just the word splurge
Oh.
in terms of money. Like I'm splurging.
It does sound gross.
It does.
It does sound like
It
the
doesn't
thing
sound
that
like
get
it
you on
has
a
to
list.
do with money.
Um,
They had a word for that. It's called overspend. Is it overspending? Well, no, because like splurging is like when you overspend, but it's like on something that you're.
you want to.
Yeah, I
Like-
guess it's still overspending though. Treat yourselfing. That's like 7 words, 3 words.
Josh says that's a solid point. Outings are so much more expensive than they used to be. Yeah, but like tying corporate IP to these outings is only going to make them more expensive. And less about what the museum is supposed to be about, which is like
The automat. I didn't think the automat would automod splooge. Is splooge really a well-known word for that?
I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
how I would think of splooge. As says, I mean, if you have 2 kids, it's an easy 75 to 100 between tickets and food. Imagine if you want a thing from the gift shop or take time off work. Yeah, is that really $75 to $100? I think usually you would spend that to get most cities have like that pass that gets you in like all their museums and aquariums, and like so I wanted to say it was like it's been a while since we've done.
I was gonna say you and I haven't been to a museum ever, so like I don't think. Yeah, I don't think like nowadays the prices would even be the same as when you're remembering. Everything's way more expensive.
Josh said, I hear splurge, but it makes me think of splooge. Is that a tense of splurge? Cheeky says, if you take your kids to the museum today, you're spending over $100 more than likely. So drawing people in with something that's exciting for everyone makes sense, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't see Addo said that. Yeah. I guess, but then Nintendo has to make money off of the Pokemon thing, right? And like that's gross, and it feels like it's moving things in a direction that like just gets grosser and grosser and grosser, maybe. But what do I know? It's not like I'm like frequenting museums in the first place, but like I'm also into like, shouldn't museums be free? Should that be like?
Well, they do like certain days are discounted, but then it's like those certain days are like school days.
Yeah.
I guess maybe in the summertime, if those days are still discounted, you could make it make sense. And then zoos have like family days that are discounted, but our local zoo's been like sending us like letters, like renew your membership, because I think we had a yearly membership like 2 years ago or something.
I did every year up till last year, and then last year we were just too.
And, like,
but
It'd be cool if we could do that this year, just
Yeah.
because they'll give us something to
if
do.
you go twice, the membership pays for itself, and then you can go more than twice too, and then you get to see animals.
Yes. However, my qualms is that like you're spending. I guess if you do it really smart and like meticulously, but whenever we go places, we don't really do things meticulously. We're like, oh, we're here, we might as well get this.
Yeah.
Just don't go into gift shops, I guess.
Dylan said we had season passes to the Henry Ford. It was around $300, but if you use it twice, it paid for itself. Learning history is only for the wealthy. You also have the things that like that is the Henry Ford Museum, and how honest about history will the Henry Ford Museum be about things?
Josh said that the last time we went to a museum, my brother-in-law touched a couple of the paintings, and it was so nerve-wracking. He was the worst. And then former brother-in-law. Yeah, no, that makes sense that is now former. Why would he touch the paintings.
That stresses me out so much.
That makes me want to like gag for some reason. I don't know why I would not like be able to chill. Like in my head, the only possible outcome of like where that would be even slightly like not okay, but is if like it was a kid and their parents didn't tell them not to yet. But all the paintings are like really high up, so most kids can't reach them. So like, yeah, there's no excuse. Don't be touching paintings.
When I was a little kid, we were at the Holocaust Museum of all places, and I was just like, I was really little, and I was like running in a room and like ran my hand across something just running, and it was like one of the little bunk beds that was in something, and I got a sliver, and then it hurt so bad. And then I also knew it was from like years and years ago, and I was like convinced I was gonna die or like lose my hand, but I didn't want to get in trouble, so I just like pretended and hid and like took the sliver out myself. Gosh. But I was like,
you knew you weren't supposed to be touching things, and you did it anyway.
Because I was just like, I was running and had my hands. I didn't mean to like.
Oh, you like accidentally ran your hand over it.
It was like a.
Okay, I thought you were just touching things like as you ran, and I was like, "That's not great, bud." But you were little, so.
I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a piece of the Holocaust inside of me, potentially.
Oh.
It's weird, but like I was a little kid.
What hand is it?
I can tell you the exact finger because it's like it's.
Can I see?
It's very surreal experience.
I don't think it would still be the wound would still be there or like scar or anything. It's not that like bad or deep, but yeah, no. I the only thing that oh my god, there's an ant. I feel bad every time, but I don't want them crawling around me. Yeah, I never like touched things really I wasn't supposed to as a kid. I did, however, stick my hands in fountains all the time and try to grab the money that people would put in like fountains and stuff. And my grandma would be like, she wouldn't tell me not to grab the money. She'd be like, if you put your hand in there, you're going to get a disease because like it's nasty water. And I was like terrified since. But like now, like it's not. I see them clean out fountains all the time, like at malls and stuff. I tried to climb in a lot of fountains as a kid too.
I freaking love those like hands-on museums. Like the one we had around here had gone like 17 different names between like Kosai and Imagination Station.
Oh yeah, and, I like Kosai. I used to go there a lot.
That was like always my favorite as a kid. Is those places. Like I always thought were so cool.
I stood on one of those. I couldn't do it now. And I think at the time I was like so scared to fall over that was what was keeping me up, because it was like one of those like balance things. And my grandma was just like, "Oh my god, like look at like Selena and look at how good she can balance." And like I was getting like praised for like balancing on this thing for some reason. It was like this, it was just like an interactive activity, so it wasn't like I was just standing on some random thing and balancing. Like you were supposed to stand on it, and it would like count your weight and like how long and like what angle you were balancing at, I guess.
Yeah.
And like my grandma just kept being like, "Oh my god," and like people were like coming to like watch because I was standing there so still for so long. But it started to get really like difficult, and like I just remember being like, "But if I move, the praise stops." And she still talks about it to this day. Like it was some kind of like crazy feat of like, "Oh my god, you like balanced really well." It's like I wouldn't be able to do that now. Fall right over.
Dylan said, to be fair to Jeff and Josh's former brother-in-law. Sorry, I was reading that and then scrolled. Before they moved the penguins in the zoo, I had a chance to touch one and got too scared of being thrown out. I've regretted it ever since. Rebel, touch all the things. Ask for consent if the things are living. It's a very good parenthetical. Sam said, I came back to clean out fountains, and my brain was like, do you think the people that have to go out of fountains have a special place in hell for stealing the dreams and wishes of children?
well, if that's the case, then child me was definitely going to hell because I was trying to swipe those coins all the time.
Yeah.
I just didn't get why, like...
There's coins in there.
I was just like, oh, someone left money in there, like, yoink. And then a girl was like, no, like... And then she showed me how to do it. I was still like, but, okay, I get it. But, like, also, they're not coming back for them, like...
I was a big fan when I was a kid of those like things that like press pennies into new things. You know, where you put like a quarter in and a penny in, and then you like twist the thing and it like would flatten the penny and like.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of those.
I always thought those were the coolest things in the world and wanted to try to collect one from like everywhere, but I could never like remember
that would be
where.
Cool.
Well, they're going out everywhere. Like there's so many that just like aren't in service anymore that people
That's
are.
kind of a bummer.
I fell down the rabbit hole one time of like people that have tried to like collect all of the, and there's another like basically like a predecessor to like 3D printing of like things where like you put in a machine and they make out the little
they make the little figures like at the zoo.
Yes. Those are going out like everywhere. Like the company that makes those doesn't exist anymore.
That's really sad, but also I kind of get it because mine melted like in the car the day that I got it. So
yeah,
they weren't really well made.
No,
they were almost made of wax. It felt like.
But it was like while the machines were operational, you could just get a new one made whenever you went again. But like those are going out everywhere. Dylan says Henry Ford has both. It seems like once or twice a year, Henry Ford will have some sort of like gimmicky, hey, we have this here now. To be fair, I'm going back and proving my own point because it's like the couple of times I've almost gone. It's been like, when they've added things, touring things in, but it's like usually still museum-y things. Sam said, don't they actually not press coins? I thought they did.
Is it like a trick?
Is it a trick?
I don't like that.
Are you breaking some belief that I've held for years now, Sam?
Jeff is gonna become unraveled over his crushed coins, his smooshed coins. Oh, he's Googling it.
Do penny press machines actually press pennies? While many penny presses used to accept real pennies, many modern machines now use provided blanks or discs, and some even accept credit cards.
Oh no!
What?
Well, yeah.
Some people prefer the older machines that use a person's own pennies, citing the unique experience of using a specific penny. However, newer machines offer advantages like consistent print quality. Fuck that! No! I'm. Listen, these new generations. It's happening. The old manification is just like.
I know. Did you show everyone your Costco card yet?
I talked about my Costco card.
Okay, the picture really does it justice.
I am really.
Mine is so funny because, like, I didn't know that we were taking pictures that day, and, like, I just was completely caught off guard, and the lady was like, okay, let's take you back, and I'll take your picture. And I'm like, what? Why?
Oh.
I mean, you can probably post it in the Discord better than...
Yeah, I look like a super old man. It's amazing. Yeah, let me switch cameras to the one that'll...
What are you doing?
Showing off my old man.
Yeah, I posted mine on Snapchat. You can post it in the Discord. It's a lot better. But...
I'm a Gold Star member at Costco, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
She said, I saw a video the other day where some dude got out of his car to feed a grizzly bear red chunks. And you can see the bear eyeing up and down as it got closer and cut As the bear lunged at him, the comments were a mix of, "Do try to feed a grizzly bear, what do you expect?" And that's how I'm going out, I know it.
That's
What
accurate.
What is wrong with us? What has happened? Are we just done?
So you're telling me if you saw a grizzly bear, you wouldn't go try to feed it bread?
No.
No?
I fucking love animals. And I
Are you
love it.
sure? What if he was really chill?
Yeah, but if he...
What if he was just sitting down? What if he was sleeping?
I would be like, oh my gosh, that's a grizzly bear. And then I would move away. And I would appreciate nature
You would
from
move
afar.
away, like out of your house, or?
Yeah, yes, I would move away. I don't want any grizzly bears in my neighborhood.
No, I'd be like, what do you mean?
No, I would like get in my
you
car.
would move away from
the grizzly bear. Yeah.
I thought the context was like the grizzly bear was in our yard. I was like, we're gonna leave the house? Oh my god.
She said I can't say, but I dropped back to say I'm going to Costco. Godspeed. Oh, I want to go to Costco again right now.
Oh my god. Okay, so like I love our kids so much, but like Friday they were like, "Oh, can we go to Costco again?" And I was like, because like the first hour of it was them melting down and being like, "I don't want to be here. I hate this."
While you and I were like,
well, we were like, "This is the most joyous place in the universe." And then they each had a hot dog, and then they were fine, and they were just hungry, but like they were just both so like
just completely crashing
angry and upset that we were in a Costco, and then literally like not more than 5 seconds after the hot dog was consumed, it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Like we should go do this now." Like, so you need to eat food before you go into a Costco is what you're telling me.
hot dog and drink, yeah.
But yes, I love them. It was really, really hard to do the Costco trip with kids. I don't know how people do grocery shopping with kids either, because I have this like mission in my head, and then I'm just like, I can't break away from the mission.
They add a lot of chaos.
And then there was this like moment where we got 2 carts because my dumbass thought it was a good idea to get a tomato plant in the beginning of the Costco trip. And I was like not thinking about how that would take up space in the cart. And so we got 2 carts. So one of our kids is pushing a cart, and the other is either with us or like walking with the other one. And they're trying to like finagle through like a bunch of people who...
And I would keep being like, you guys all stay here because I'm trying to find something, and I don't want to bring this whole caravan to look through this stuff. Yeah. And then every single time I'd look behind, and suddenly the whole caravan would be behind me. And I'd be like, ah!
Mm-hmm. And then you'd park us somewhere, and you'd be like, all right, I'm going to leave the cart right here so I can go search by myself. And I'm like, I guess we'll just stand here with these carts then in this middle of this Costco. I was coming unglued. Well, because then the kids were like getting stressed out when people would get too close to our carts, and there was nowhere to move the cart that was like safe. There was just people everywhere. I think there was just too many people too.
Addo said, these newfangled machines. Sam said, I've angered Jeff and Sad and Lena, to which GU banned Sam, to which our Autobot said, GU has banned Sam to the bog of eternal stench. Is that all it does? Is smell? Oh, believe me, that's enough. But the worst thing is...
Wait, since when have we had that on there?
Forever. But now you get the joke.
Okay. I get it now.
Yeah, it does a whole paragraph about that.
Goodbye, Sam. Have a good day.
And bye again, GU. Josh says we need a yard cam so we can yell at the kids in our yard live. Dylan says, hell yeah, guys. Welcome to the club. It's a pretty great club. I'm happy to be part of it. Josh says, my life will end with a bear communion. This is my body owl. She said, that's what I'm telling you, Lena. LMAO, not a wild bear, and most certainly not a grizzly or polar bear. Sam said kids get hangry too.
They really do. And then they tell you that they're not hangry, that they're not hungry at all, actually. And I'm like, but I know you are. You haven't eaten all day. And they'll be like, I'm not hungry. And I'm like, I'm trying to solve your problem. Let me solve your problem. And then I get flashbacks to when I've said that to Jeff, where I'm like, I'm not hungry. I don't need anything. And then he's like, have you eaten all day? And I'm like, no. And it's just
But that's not why I'm mad.
It's just this cycle.
Sam says, yeah, it's been like over 6 months at least that's what banning people in the chat has done. Yeah, the Labyrinth was one of those movies Selena had seen but never seen.
I seen it the first time when I was little. I seen it the second time with my ex, and like I must have been disassociating through most of it, besides the part where that reminded me specifically of my ex. And then, yeah, all I remembered was that, and the beginning was definitely like a blur. So it was like watching it sort of for the first time.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, like I said, watching it in theaters was a whole different experience. So
Yeah.
It was like one of the more decent crowds we've had too, because sometimes in those flashback cinema crowds, like
people talk, and it's like just because you've seen this movie doesn't mean that
everybody here has. Yeah.
It also doesn't mean I'm one of those people. I've probably talked about it before, but like if I'm watching a thing that I really like, even if I've seen it, I still want to hear it.
Yeah,
I still want to like absorb it into my brain.
Same. But yeah, it was actually a really good crowd too. They were a little talky during like
I started crashing out because I thought they were gonna talk, and I was like, "You're gonna switch me spots because these people are talking."
They were just talking through like the sweet old man who's like, "This week for flashback cinema,"
which is like arguably I get mad when people talk through that too, because that man came there and filmed that for you, and you're gonna talk over him.
He seems like such a sweetheart. Like, I don't even know that guy's name, but like when I find out through the grapevine that he's like gone someday, it's gonna like
we're gonna cry.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough day. Adam said also the life ending with Bear Communion, also different context if you play Baldur's Gate 3. Pretty solid joke.
There's your ant. There's many ants. Oh my god, there's another one. Where are they coming from? Sorry. I just don't know where they're coming from, and I can't.
Marching one by one, hurrah!
I'm really like emotionally.
Here's to ruin Selena's fun, hurrah, hurrah!
Yeah. It's not that I like.
Out.
It's
for sanity's going.
Are you like purposely starting every time I start talking, or because I stopped and I waited and then you stopped? Oh my god.
Hey, I'm gonna be live later today at 3:00. Playing Final Fantasy.
While I go play Carpool Agent.
if we have like 4 different
Again,
pickup. We have 5 total pickups and drops off for
5
kids today.
5
counting
total.
This morning.
I have to go to school, drive back, and then I have to go back to that school, and then I have to drive back, and then I have to go somewhere else. I think it's another school.
Yeah,
and then drive back.
3 of them happen while I'm doing the Final Fantasy stream today. So like it's gonna be all Selena.
I hope I get pulled over. I hope I get pulled over and they take away my license and I can't drive ever again.
Hey, there's a link to our YouTube channel.
And then I'll be like, sorry, I can't do pickups anymore. I can't drive.
There's a link if you want to buy comic books from us. We're live on there every Saturday night, 8 to 10. It's a good time. We have raid messages. They look like this. And like this. By the way, streams will be spotty this week. I can for sure.
Today. Not today. Those streams are still happening. Sorry, I get to make these jokes, okay? If I had a Final Fantasy stream that I was doing, which I don't, but if I did, you could make all the jokes that I'm making.
Okay. We have raid messages. They look like that and that. Streams will be spotty this week. We for sure won't be streaming it all on Friday. We for sure won't be doing a video game stream Thursday night because Thursday night, my kid is graduating. And then Friday, we'll be busy doing things to set up for a grad party on Sunday. There is a chance that, you know, the whole, like, it might spill over to Thursday, too. So, but for sure, we'll be live today at 3 doing Final Fantasy. And then tomorrow, but tomorrow might be the last stream of the week, depending on how things go. And then, but in 2 weeks' time, you'll be sick of us because we'll be doing all those video game streams. So, of streaming while talking over all of Summer Games Fest. So,
Yeah.
we'll see if we can get some other people to come hang out for that too. So that, yeah. Last time we had a manual. We wrapping up. Just got home. Yes. We'll bring you over to Samuel. Ado said we'll never be sick of y'all. Well, thank you for saying that.
Thanks.
And congrats on the graduating kiddo. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that kid. So I posted a big mushy thing on socials, but yeah, that's my kid who like started gay straight alliances at his school and stood up for himself with like pronouns and bathroom rights and everything else, and went through a whole lot of horseshit that I wouldn't have asked for him to go through.
And did things that
it's not going to benefit him. It's just going to be the kids that come after him.
He's not even going to be there, but the kids that are going to be there after him are going to have a safer space because of him.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's
fucking proud as all get out of that kid. So
he's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go raid Samuel. Where we tell you to be honest, be kind, be useful, live a good fucking life. Maybe he is not live.
No,
yet.
I seen the notification.
Oh,
Sam was just right there.
I found it. Okay. We're going to go say hi to Samuel. Be honest, be kind, be useful. Live a good fucking life. We love you all.
Goodbye. Have a good day.
Bye.